And welcome to Hannity. We begin tonight with a Fox News alert. The polls, they are officially closed in the state of New York, and soon maybe the fire alarms on Capitol Hill, maybe they can rest easy. We are monitoring the results as they pour in, but far-left Congressman Jamal Bowman is in real jeopardy of losing his re-election bid after getting primaried by someone, well, slightly less radical. Bowman, best known for tagging along with the squad, hating Israel, pleading guilty to a misdemeanor for intentionally pulling a fire alarm inside the Capitol complex in what was an unsuccessful attempt to delay a funding bill. Now, Congressman Bowman also suggested that America deserves the border crisis we have. Why? Because of our evil capitalist ways. That's all coming up straight ahead. Also coming up, you will hear from the mother and the grandfather of 12-year-old Jocelyn Nungray, the latest victim of Joe Biden's border crisis. There's been a lot of them lately. Now, we now know this innocent little girl was assaulted for hours and murdered under this bridge in Texas, but she fought back hard, according to new details that have emerged. The suspected killers, they are two Joe Biden unvetted illegal immigrants. Yep. Why were they not vetted? Why were they allowed in the country? Why were they aided and abetted by the president? But you have yet to hear a peep from your commander-in-chief, except another proclamation last week about amnesty and more lies, how he secured the border. What do we hear? The border's secure, the border's closed. No, it's not. And he said it again last week. I did it on my own. No, you didn't, Joe. And that bill you were passing, the bipartisan bill, 5,000 people come in. That was a joke. That's not a border security bill. Anyway, Joe now, of course, 5+ days and counting. He's been in hiding. Apparently, the president of your country is not able to perform his regular duties, the duties of his job, while also preparing for a 90-minute debate in friendly territory on fake news CNN. At least 16 aides are helping Biden prepare with mock debates and strategy sessions. Also, according to reports, Biden's intensive week-long debate prep at Camp David also includes exercises where Biden practices standing up for a whole 90 minutes straight. Now, that would be the length of the debate. Now, of course, we don't know everything that's happening at Camp David, and many Americans believe that Biden could be taking some kind of performance-enhancing drugs to help his ailing memory and his poor stamina. Now, Trump called on Joe Biden to take a drug test. He said he'd do the same. Now, today's flash poll on Hannity.com shows a vast majority of our viewers believe that it's going to be a jacked-up, hyper-caffeinated Joe that's going to show up at Thursday's debate, like the State of the Union, not the usual cognitive mess Joe. You can still vote at Hannity.com. We'll show you the results. That's coming up at the end of the show. Now, of course, we haven't seen jacked up, hyper-caffeinated Joe since the supercharged, angry, yelling, screaming State of the Union address where he barely blinked and motored through his script in record time. Didn't even give the Speaker of the House time to introduce him. Unfortunately for Joe, there will be no scripts at Thursday's debate. He will have to rely on his memory. Luckily for Biden, he will probably get some help from the so-called moderators. Fake Dana Bash, fake Jake Tapper are two left-wing Democratic talk show hosts that hate Donald Trump. And like so many with Trump derangement syndrome, they're quick to compare the former president to Adolf Hitler. Take a look.
The dehumanizing rhetoric of Adolf Hitler is once again alive and well on a national political stage. This time, of course, in the United States. This time given life by former president and current Republican presidential frontrunner Donald Trump. If you were to open up a copy of Hitler's Mein Kampf, you would find the Nazi leader describing the mixing of non-Germans with Germans as poisoning. There's really no other way to say it. Donald Trump's language mirrors this directly.
Long-standing anti-Semitic trope that the true allegiance for Jews is to their religion rather than their country. It was used in Nazi Germany to justify the arrests, persecutions, and mass killings, attempted extermination of the Jewish people. And Trump has been pushing this trope for years.
And according to fake news CNN, Tapper and Bash, they're just fair-minded journalists with no political bias at all whatsoever. Clearly, nothing could be further from the truth. Was that opinion they were stating, or is that fact? And because the structure of the debate, these two left-wing hacks, they will have the power to cut off Donald Trump, even mute his microphone, while offering real-time, hyper-partisan, on-air Chiron fact-checking when they have their truncated question up there. For example, here's what you can expect from fake Jake Tapper based on this interview with Laura Trump. Take a look.
What we see on stage with Joe Biden, Jake, is very clearly a cognitive decline.
Okay.
That's what I'm referring to. It makes me uncomfortable
You are
to
no
watch somebody on stage
It's so amazing. It's so amazing to me that
try and figure out an answer.
A cognitive decline.
Well, when you're trying to tell me that what I was suggesting was
I think that you were
stuttering,
mocking his stutter. Yeah, I think you were mocking his stutter, and I think you have absolutely no standing to diagnose somebody's cognitive decline.
Joe Biden
I have one last
struggling
question for you, Laura. You can't
times on stage, and it's very concerning to a lot of people that this could be the leader of the free world.
Okay.
That is all I'm saying. I genuinely feel
Laura
sorry
Trump.
for Joe Biden.
I appreciate it. I'm sure it was from a place of concern. We all believe that. Laura Trump, thank you so much.
Good for Laura Trump. By the way, fake Jake, you still believe he's not in cognitive decline? You really believe that? You really believe that people are making fun of a stutter? Well, anyway, there's a preview of the debate in a nutshell. Joe Biden won't even need to say a word. Fake Jake and company, they'll do the heavy lifting for him. I'm sorry, but I don't think the network that brought you Nicholas Sandmann and that smear and the fiery but mostly peaceful protest banners, remember that? Oh, it says right there, mostly peaceful. Look at the fire raging behind the reporter. The Russia collusion hoax for 3 long series they peddled on fake news CNN. The Hunter Biden laptop lie, should be in charge of fact-checking anybody or anything. And stop lying that you're a journalist. You're not journalists. Sadly, fake news CNN also has total control over the questions, the on-screen graphics. Watch for their bias with that, and pretty much everything else. Most of the terms of this debate were dictated by Joe Biden and fake news CNN. It has never, ever, ever been this way in the history of televised presidential debates. And nobody in the mob and the media cares, just like they didn't care about the sham criminal trial or the sham valuation of Mar-a-Lago at $18 million. Ironically, a civil case about valuations. So this debate is not Trump versus Biden. It's Trump versus Biden and fake Dana Bash and fake Jake Tapper and dozens of CNN producers and probably CNN management. And in case Biden needs any more help, Hillary Clinton, she has graciously offered some unsolicited advice, calling Trump a, quote, convicted criminal out for revenge. Hillary, he's probably going to have that overturned. Although I'm not sure Biden should be taking advice from somebody who will never, ever, ever, ever be called Madam President. Either way, Biden is in a great position to succeed in Thursday's CNN debate as long as he makes it through the full 90 minutes without keeling over. Well, the mob and the media will declare him the winner just based on that low bar. But, of course, Joe Biden will need all the help he can get. His campaign is in shambles, and now even Obama is worried that his so-called legacy will be ruined with another Trump term. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.